Part 3 is here and MIBR is cooking something big. With Aspas locked in, they climb to the top 3 in the Americas Kickoff. Now they're adding more firepower by rolling the dice on Verno, NA's biggest punching machine. But with Verno's reputation, no thanks to NRG, plus the language barrier and the high risk, high reward nature of designing, can MIBR actually pull this off? Welcome to snstry. Today we're breaking down MIBR's latest move, the risk that comes with signing Verno, and whether Verno can shut down the doubters and make NRG regret ever letting him go. And trust me, you'll want to mark April 13th on your calendar. This is something you won't want to miss. MIBR needs to help Verno clear his name. And how do they do that? By making another player profile video. But this time, Verno needs to trash NRG. Call them out, let everyone know these guys were straight up lying, and say he's a hard worker and he's finally going to show what he's capable of next to a real champion. That day should come on April 13. It's also the day when Verno would finally punch FNS. Now if that's not the best way to start his revenge arc, I don't know what is. A chance to play in a tier 1 team is hard to come by. But it's safe to say that Verno is that guy, and he's bound to be Aspas' new running mate. Just because Verno didn't work with NRG doesn't mean he won't work with the MIBR. No one's saying he's a bad player. What we do know is that his comps didn't fit NRG's system. But as Frost pointed out, there's a way to make it work, and MIBR is banking on that. For now, these are just rumors and the official news is still up in the air. Sure, this whole process is a slow burn, but maybe teams are playing it safe. Or maybe Verno is making damn sure his name doesn't end up slipping and sliding again like Titty's Baby Oil expose. Whether MIBR can actually make this work remains to be seen. But in a stacked Americas region, MIBR is pulling all the stops to give the team the best chance of winning. And the best chance to test the team is on April 13, but more on that later. You're probably wondering how are the comps going to work? Well, considering Verno's history, let's just say you might have the same concerns I did. Nah, kidding aside, MIBR wouldn't have signed him without a solid game plan to address that. But here's what really had me thinking. How is Verno supposed to understand his teammates when they're all speaking Portuguese? Turns out that's not a problem at all. Apparently, most of the squad speak solid English, especially Artisan.
Yeah, it's because me and Fraud, we worked together for a long time, so I already know how he thinks the game. And
do you hear how smooth that is? The only question mark is Senom, but let's be real. MIBR wouldn't take this gamble without a way to make it work, right? Before we go into the role issues, we need to go on a tangent and take a little journey first. Cause hey, you can't have a Verno video without mentioning NRG, right? NRG's new documentary makes no sense to me. It's supposed to be about their journey winning the offseason only to flop at kickoff. But the biggest story, the reason why they failed, it's nowhere to be found. Everyone's asking how bad the Verno and Boncar situation really was, yet the video barely touches on it. You'd think we'd get at least something, a crack, a hint, maybe even a subtle nod, but instead, it's just a glorified highlight reel of things we've already seen. And if you still think the video wasn't weird, just check the comments. Everyone's too busy praising the editor to talk about what's happening in the video. The reason I'm bringing this up is because in that video, FNS mentions that they had role issues. Specifically that Verno felt he'd be better on Sentinel. Now, either that's true because Verno is not coming effectively, or it's one big cap because in today's VCT, we've got players like Chichu, Shai, Izu, and a lot of other players who more or less play the same roles as FNS does. And all those players are killing it. So maybe Verno felt the need to switch roles because that was the only way for them to even try and compete with the best. Now we're finally in the part where we try to make sense of this whole role issue topic. So if FNS is speaking the truth about Verno's inclination to play the Sentinel role, then we might have a bit of a problem, as Cortesia have been the Sentinel main for MIBR's new roster ever since. What we do know though is that Verno is a demon playing Sova. But hey, this whole role switching thing might just be part of a bigger plan, and maybe we'll finally get some answers when MIBR faces NRG in stage 1. If Verno is ever going to prove his worth, that's the day to do it. So can MIBR actually pull this off? They've got the GOAT in Aspas, they've got the firepower, and assuming they have a system that makes it all work, then on paper, this should be a recipe for success. But as we saw in the recent Masters Bangkok tournament, not everything on paper is set in stone. In that grand final, we all know that G2 on paper was supposed to win, but when it mattered most, they faltered. If MIBR wants to avoid the same fate, they need more than firepower. They need structure. Their fundamentals have to be airtight, their mental game strong, and Verno's integration seamless. Because if their system falls apart under pressure, all the talent in the world won't save them. Like how the Wright brothers got laughed at for thinking humans could fly, they proved everyone wrong. Quoting Frost again when he says there is a way to make things work. You just know, Verno has what it takes to be a great player in the VCT. It's just about finding the right team that fits his strength. But as the creator of the 100-page Icebox report says, at the end of the day, we're measured by wins and losses. And the thing is, Verno can talk all he wants, that's if he decides to, but until he actually wins something, he'll just always be a wasted potential. At the end of the day, it's up to Verno and how much is he willing to step up and prove himself. MIBR is taking a gamble, but is it one that pays off? The risk is obvious, an unproven tier 1 player with past comms concerns. But if Verno thrives in the system, not only does he silence the doubters, he makes NRG look like the fools who let him go. Before I forget, I did mention earlier April 13, the day Verno gets his shot. The moment we've been waiting for. The chance to rewrite his story. The question is, will he take it? Because that's the day MIBR faces NRG. The day Verno finally punches FNS. And how will he do that? Simple, by equipping the RES Power Fist. And this isn't just a sucker punch. It's a full force haymaker, a direct hit right in the face, because let's be real, FNS whiffs like Rambo, so Verno got all the time in the world to bring it to him. What do you think? Does this need to happen? Will the prophecy finally be fulfilled? Will Verno do a no-tail fist bump? Let me know, because just like you, I can't wait for April 13. So that's it for the video. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.